Hey everyone, it's Kat from Category D. I wanted to do a really short video on a hot topic, and that is rental rates. Now, first of all, when you rent out a family let, a buy-to-let property, you should be doing your research before you even purchased it to know what rental rate you should be achieving. Now, sites like Rightmove are brilliant to find this data, but also make sure that you are phoning local letting agents. They have their ears to the ground and they're dealing with these properties on a day-to-day basis. Something to bear in mind when you come to actually letting out your property is that letting agents will want to let your property as soon as possible. And whilst that is a really positive thing, that will sometimes mean that they may go a little bit lower on a rental rate in order to achieve a quick letting. So it's important you've done your research and you know exactly what that property should be achieving and what you want it and need it to achieve from a business point of view. Now, what about yearly increases? This is often a really squeaky topic for tenants and for landlords alike. And I've been in both positions. From a tenant's point of view, they should know exactly what to expect from you. So if you're planning on increasing your rental rates every year, which I would recommend you do, this should be discussed and put forward before a tenant has even signed to take on your property. So for example, my tenants expect that every year there will be an increase of between 3 and 5%, and it will just reflect the local market. There's nothing personal, it's purely a business and market decision. Now, if that's what they expect at the start of every year, there's no surprises. What I keep hearing about though is a lot of horror stories where people are putting up prices by 20%. Or at the other end of the scale, tenants have been with landlords who have never increased the rate, and suddenly landlords are needing to do so and tenants are finding themselves in a really, really difficult position. That's not fair for anybody. So I would really recommend you have an honest conversation. If you're in that situation, you have an honest conversation with your tenants. Where we are now, where we need to get to, and you agree a plan together. You are responsible for doing the right thing as a landlord, both morally and in terms of numbers for your business. So do take this seriously. So key points to note: make sure your tenants know exactly what to expect from you in terms of rental raises before they even sign on to a tenancy. Obviously, you're not going to be able to say it's going to go up £50 every year because you don't know what the market's going to do. But you can say it will go up every year between 3 and 5%. Really simple, huh? And it keeps both landlord and tenant happy, comfortable. You can do your cash flow planning. They can plan for their lives as well. Really, really simple. The final point to cover though is in this cost of living crisis, should that change what you do? There's a whole, bad rep when it comes to landlords. Landlords are greedy, landlords are, trying to get every penny. And you do sometimes see this, that people are taking advantage of the situation. Personally, again, I think it comes down to having that honest conversation with your tenant. If the routine is that your rents go up by 3 to 5% every year, then that routine shouldn't change. Imagine if you don't put the tenancy up, the cost for your tenant up, the rent. Imagine if you don't do that for a couple of years, they're having a hard time. Then it gets to 3 years, 4 years. When does it stop? But also, what happens when your tenant needs to leave and find another property? I know we all want our tenants to stay as long as possible and be lifers with us, but things do happen, life does change. So when your tenants who have previously had a great deal with you try to find another property, they're not going to be able to afford it because they haven't budgeted correctly, because you haven't put the price correctly to the market value. So we have a lot of responsibility as landlords to be fair and to continue to talk to our tenants and be really open and honest with them. The majority of tenants are fantastic, and we should treat them with the respect and honesty that they deserve. If you have any questions about anything we've talked about in the video, please do reach out. I would love to hear from you. My email address, as always, is cat@category-d.com, and I really look forward to hearing from you.